Hi everybody, it's Thursday afternoon and it's time for our Natureworks video. This week we're going to take a lesson from nature and we're going to talk about seeding in November. Seeding in November?
You can seed in November.
Isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever heard of? Well, you know, my husband always says to me, only you could think of something to teach somebody to do when it's cold outside. But you know what? November seeding is taking a lesson from nature. You think about the pods and the flower seed pods that are out right now. Those seeds are falling on the ground and they're living through the winter with the freezing and thawing. And they're breaking their dormancy by a process called stratification, which means the seed stays outside, not in a little packet or a jar in a warm house. So there's a lot of seeds that need that. And the first one I'm going to tell you about, it's like a deck of cards. It's the bread seed poppies that we love so much. We have fresh seed in. And think about it now. If you have bread seed poppies, the pods still have the seeds in them. And the seeds drop on the ground. So what we're telling you to do is to go out and sow this seed on the cold soil now. And when I do it, I put a label in the garden with a permanent marker so I know where they are, because you might forget you did this.
You don't want to cover them with mulch. Tell them that part.
You don't want to cover them with mulch because you want them to be on the soil surface. Last year, I grew this one, Drama Queen. I grew these all, but the Drama Queen, I took so many pictures of it. So these make great stocking stuffers, make great gifts. We can box them up. You can just stash them yourself and go home and do this. And, you know, you're going to forget you did it. And then when they come up in the spring, you're going to be like, I am a rock star. So this is a cool thing to do. What else can you seed at this time of year,
Well,
Diane?
this is the time of year that I planted my meadow.
You're kidding me.
So
Your meadow?
My meadow.
Really? Huh.
So I have a really beautiful meadow. It's 100 feet by 40 feet or so,
It
around
is
there.
pretty. I've seen it many times.
What I did was, in November, about 5 years ago, I scalped the lawn. I cut it super, super short, which you never want to do, except if you're planting a meadow. So I scalped the lawn, and then I used one of our wonderful Meadow Seeds. We've got a bunch here. We've got some for shade. We've got short wildflower mixture to attract the most beneficial insects. We've got one with Asclepias in it to attract the monarch butterflies. So what you would do is you would take this packet. I like monarch butterflies, as you probably know. So I'm gonna choose this one to talk about. You would scalp your lawn super short because you want the seed to get onto the soil. That's the important part. And then you rip open the package, and in these packages, it's 100% seed. There's no filler in here. So there's not a ton of seed to do a huge area, but this should seed about 300 square feet. So you would walk slowly and sprinkle this on your scalped lawn.
No digging required.
No digging required.
I like
Now,
that.
in the spring, the flowers you would see from this are the annual seeds that are winter hardy. So in each of these packages, there are some annual seeds that can survive the winter temperatures.
Like poppies.
Like poppies,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the perennials in here need to be outside for the winter because they need to be stratified. So what happens when you sprinkle the seed is it'll snow, and then the ground will freeze, and then the ground will thaw. And what happens is the seeds sit on the soil, and the soil kind of moves around and goes back and forth, and the seeds get planted in the soil for you. So in the spring, you'll be able to see some annuals coming up with flowers, and then you'll see the leaves of the perennials, which will flower the second year, actually. So, you know, eventually you'll have a pretty wildflower meadow, but it takes a couple of seasons to get it to look like the picture on the package.
Or the pictures in these books.
Right. So
this is Catherine Zimmerman's book, which
This
is
is
awesome.
She's the
We
guru.
love her.
She's the guru of doing a meadow organically. She's got several different ways to do it in here. So I highly recommend this one. And this one, I just want to show you a picture in here. Sowing seed for next year. So you put it down in November or even December, even January, actually. You need to put it
If the ground
down.
is open, if you don't have a lot of snow.
Put it down in the winter, and you don't want it to germinate now. That's why you want to put it down so late. You want it to just be on the soil. So This book has beautiful pictures as well. Let me just show one other. I have to show one other picture, Nancy. Look
Go
at
for
this. So my meadow kind of resembles that picture. It's really
actually.
pretty.
And you know, the idea is that you may not want to have a huge meadow, but you can have a mini meadow. And by having a mini meadow, you will reduce the amount of lawn you have. And by reducing the amount of lawn you have, you will up the habitat value of your yard tremendously, because there is nothing that's less of a habitat than just a mown lawn of a monoculture of grass.
Can I mention grass too, though?
Yeah.
So you can also dormant seed your lawn. Now,
That's just too cool.
highly recommend doing a meadow, but if you have a lawn, and a lot of people do need lawn because they play on it, they have kids, they have dogs, so you do need some lawn. You can put grass seed down now, and it's called dormant seeding, and it's the same thing. The grass seed will, if you sprinkle it over crabgrassy areas, it's perfect because the crabgrass is dying. Crabgrass is an annual weed, it dies. Then next spring, this grass will sprout and fill in the areas that the crabgrass had taken over.
We're like the craziest people here at Natureworks. Like, who else is going to teach you to put seed down in November? But I just think it's so cool. And this is what nature does. Take a lesson from nature. The seed pods of the milkweeds floating around right now. And if you don't have your own milkweed pods, we actually have 3 kinds of Asclepias seed. We have common milkweed, the orange milkweed, Asclepias tuberosa, and the swamp milkweed, the Asclepias incarnata. And, you know, I'm gathering milkweed pods from one part of my yard where I already have enough milkweed and moving it to other areas. I'm gathering aster seeds and Joe Pyeweed seeds and ironweed seeds from one part of my yard where I already have enough of it and moving it to a new area. And I basically do it, talk about the quick and dirty way. I throw it on the ground, I step on it, and I do the dance. And it is stunning that this actually does work without digging a hole. So there's a lot of cool things that you can think about doing at this time of year that don't require a lot of back-breaking effort. And next year, when the season starts up, you're like, I forgot I did that. I am so proud of myself. I am such a horticultural genius. That's because I watched a Natureworks video. So that's November outdoor seeding for you.
Oh, hey, wait, guys, are you talking about seeds?
We're talking about seeds.
Oh, wow, you can do vegetables inside too right now.
Inside?
Yeah,
What do you
we
mean?
did some microgreens here. So we basically just used our spring seed starting setup with the light, the trays, everything. You just put some dirt in, sprinkle seeds heavily, put some dirt on top, and just let them grow up. We have microgreens, shoots, and baby leaves. So you can do vegetables.
And
inside
would you just
too.
keep redoing this, reseeding it all winter long?
Yeah, we're gonna cut this down so they're totally dead. We're gonna eat them, and then you just sprinkle more seed in and start the process again.
How cool. Like right on your windowsill.
Yeah.
Or under lights.
Yeah.
Like we have this light setup thing that we're doing, right? Yeah, that's so cool. So seed in, seed out. You can like keep planting seed. Seed's the bomb. Let's plant seeds. Seeds in November. Yay, seeds!
Do it the way nature does it.
Yes, take a lesson from nature. This is Natureworks saying, get in here. You won't believe it. It's so cool. See you later. Bye.